What's going on, guys? Welcome back for another video. My name is Hunter. If you are new here, welcome to the channel where we talk about all things crypto, stocks, tech, and more importantly, how to make you money. Getting straight to it, we're going to be talking about Energy Web. This is a very exciting new project under the radar as usual. And basically, this is a blockchain-based operating system. I think there's a lot of value within this play, and I'm excited to dive into it. And furthermore, let's jump in. So to start off, let's look at what Energy Webs does and what their mission is and what they primarily focus on. So Energy Web's mission is to accelerate decarbonization of the global economy. To do so, they deploy digital operating systems for energy grids with their global community of more than 100 energy market participants. These systems make it simple, secure, and efficient for clean energy assets to support the grid of the future. Also, here's a quick glimpse of the amount of projects they have going on currently, the amount of countries they are in, which is 25, and they have over 100 plus partners. This is definitely a legitimized project that are actually creating a real world value, which I love, especially with lots of projects that are basically filled with FUD heading into the market. And also here is other companies within their community. I'm sure you guys will see some brand names that you definitely aren't aware of, so I'll let this slide here super quick. In the meantime, definitely feel free to shoot me a follow on my Twitter, where I am most active and I drop all my plays instantly. We are building a great community on there, and I appreciate every single one of you. So here we are looking at Energy Web's technology tech stack, and there's a lot to capture here. I'm going to be briefly going over this. So looking over to our right, we can see the Energy Web chain, an open source proof of authority public blockchain derived from the Ethereum blockchain technology. Provides the trust mechanism for Energy Web decentralized operating system and the DID registry through smart contracts. So basically, there's a lot within their tech stack, right? We have their token, which is EWT, is the native utility token of the Energy Web chain. They're used to pay for services on the Energy Web operating system or network. We have nodes, we have Block Explorer, and in regards to infrastructure, there's so much to unpack here, but we have the utility layer, basically. And then we also have identity solutions. I'm going to leave these here for you guys to dive in further, but just highlighting on them, we have a DER management. For example, let's click on this. So Flex Alerts. Energy Web has worked with Kazo, I apologize if I mispronounced that, a major US transmission grid operator to enhance its existing Flex Alert program. With this new system, the public in California can subscribe to receive SMS or email alerts whenever the power grid faces a critical need for conservation. Subscribers can then respond when they intend to conserve, allowing CASO to forecast the level of conservation, all while preserving the privacy of the subscribers. Very, very unique. I honestly love that. So looking at e-mobility, for example, we have a few things here. E-mobility dashboard is an open platform to simplify the identification of electric vehicles and charge points through digital identities anchored on the Energy Web chain, enabling all parties to get trustworthy live historic data from devices, improving green electric purchasing, and enabling the emergence of other energy services and opportunities for owners and energy companies. Looking at traceability, for example, let's click on Zero. Zero will be a global search engine for renewable certificates and other decarbonization products that are tokenized on the Energy Web chain. The goal is to simplify procurement processes, increase transparency about available options, and accelerate decarbonization by matching buyers and sellers across the globe. Very, very neat. And looking at DeFi, my absolute favorite. So DeFi for energy access, NNG is what they call it, one of the leading off-grid pay-as-you-go solar and mini-grid solution providers in Africa. Huge play. Has partnered with Energy Web to accelerate energy access in sub-Saharan Africa through a decentralized finance crowdfunding platform. The DeFi application will be built on the open source Energy Web tech stack and enable investors to provide microloans that support energy development. So as you can see, there's so much more here to unpack, but I'm going to leave everything linked in the description as usual. And now I'm going to dive into some real world case studies that's going to make it very easy to understand how important, how unique this project truly is. So now getting into our first real world case study and looking at how this would pertain to individuals. So for example, Mark's home, let's get this going fixed. Mark's home is equipped with a battery and solar panels in Melbourne, Australia. Scrolling down, under Project Edge, under the Energy Web platform, Mark's assets can sell services to utilities who manage the grid. In exchange, he gets paid generating new revenues from his battery and solar panels. Absolutely insane. Through Mark's participation in Project Edge, he and other Australians with similar systems are helping to balance a rapidly decarbonizing grid in support of a clean energy future. And now looking at case studies in regards to companies, the distribution network operator, for example, Dana works for an electric distribution utility in Australia. Project Edge is giving her the ability to interact with customer-owned assets that she was previously blind to, solar systems, batteries, and other sources of flexible load often generated by aggregators. Now that these assets, customers, and aggregator companies have digital identities anchored on the energy web chain, we know where they are, what they can do, and whom they can communicate with, so that we can rely on them to store or discharge energy to the grid as needed, as well as provide other grid services. Before we were blind, and now we see, thanks to traceability and transparency the energy web stack enables. Now looking at enterprise, the National Energy Market Operator for Molly at EMO, she too has a different view of the grid. Now, EMO, I'm pronouncing that wrong, I apologize, has a digital relationship with customer-owned assets. Permission market participants such as aggregators, distribution grid operators, and AMO all have a shared view of the same underlying assets, such as smart inverters and batteries, and insight into how and when they can help make the grid more flexible from the bottom up. This is possible because AMO and the distribution utilities use common, shared, open source infrastructure rather than each organization using their own siloed systems. Now looking at crypto, the energy web community, more and more decentralized identifiers will be anchored to the energy web chain, capable of generating and ingesting both data and energy web utility layer services. After Edge's trial period, the architecture has the potential to set a standard for the entire Australian market and the world. Something to definitely take note of, right? And looking for the world in regards to energy web, all these batteries, solar PV systems, and other distributed energy resources will help to decarbonize the grid, reducing the energy required from centralized fossil-fueled power plants. So here we are looking at the history of Energy Web and where it all started. So Energy Web was launched in early 2017. They were co-founded by globally respected energy think and do tank Rocky Mountain Institute, RMI, and noted blockchain developer Grid Singularity, GSY, along with a cohort of 10 founding affiliates, RMI and GSY, who today both contribute members to our board of directors. Example, the Foundation Council saw blockchain's promise in the energy sector, and then Energy Web was born to make that promise a reality. During the first month of Energy Web, their testnet was leveraged through Ethereum's Kovan network, but by November 2017, they had launched Tobalaba, their Energy Web built dedicated testnet. It was a time of intense energy sector interest in the blockchain, and between Q2 of 2017 and Q1 of 2018, the industry invested some $322 million in energy blockchain startups. By early February, their own community had grown to 37 affiliates, and by the summer of 2018, they had named their CEO. So jumping down a little bit, in June 2019, they launched the Energy Web Chain, the world's first public, open source, enterprise-grade blockchain tailored to the energy sector. TEO by NG became the first app to migrate onto the live production chain, while some companies, such as Thailand's PTT, began building new commercial solutions on it. So now diving into Energy Web's projects on a global scale, we can see that they have currently 27 projects over here on our left-hand side. They have DER management, APG Flex Hub, and a lot more. This is working with the Australian Power Grid, Ripple XRP Foundation. So there are a lot of very, very legitimized and big names here. Google.org, there's a lot to cover. I just want to show you guys, we have 4 in the United States, 1 project in El Salvador. We have 7 global, 11 in Europe, 1 in Africa, and 3 in APAC. So looking in the countries that we just touched on, we looked at these. Getting into more specifics, Australia, Austria, Belgium, El Salvador, Germany, Japan, Spain, Thailand, the Netherlands, Turkey, and the United States. And looking at some of their partners, there's so much to dive into, but they're working with the Austrian Power Grid, the Australian Energy Market Operator, the California Independent System Operator, the Dutch Energy Agenter, Bamboo Energy in Spain, Debat in Belgium, and so much more, and Filecoin, which is actually super cool to see. So there's a lot to unpack. I would definitely dive into there as well after this video. So now unpacking some specifics in regards to some different industries that Energy Web is attacking and looking to operate within. We're looking at grid operators. So what are grid operators? They're looking to maximize the value of distributed energy resources for customers and the grid with shared digital infrastructure. So now looking at the challenge for the energy industry, by 2030, customer investment in renewable energy, distributed resources, DERs, and electric mobility will exceed utility investments in generation, transmission, and distribution. But today's power grids and electricity markets are not designed for a customer-centric future. Taken together, customer-owned assets can form the basis of decarbonized, flexible, resilient energy systems the world over. But there's a fundamental problem. Today's electricity markets are not equipped to handle the incoming wave of device interconnections. Web Energy has made a common digital infrastructure to coordinate the millions of diverse clean energy resources, customers, and organizations compromising modern grids. Their mission is to develop and deploy open source decentralized tech and standards to meet global requirements for establishing identity, enforcing rules, and facilitating transactions between billions of DERs, customers, utilities, service providers, and grid operators. So I would definitely suggest looking in all the industries that they're looking to basically make an imprint on. So here we are on CoinMarketCap, looking at the Energy Web token's price, some price history, and diving into some brief tokenomics. So as we can see, the price right here is $9.69 currently. And looking at some all-time price average, as we can see, since April of 2020, it did start out, I think, all-time low around 50 cents. Has made some very good gains, peaked at around $20.56 on 4/15 of 2021, and currently we're sitting at $9.69 as we touched on. So definitely a nice pullback here, an opportunity to start building a position if this is something that you think would be viable adding to your own portfolio. So getting into the specifics real quick, wanted to touch on the tokenomics. Bear with me here. So the Energy Web token plans to release a maximum supply of 100 million EWT tokens over 10 years after the initial release date. Currently, there are 48,638,535 EWT tokens available on the market for trading. So as we can see, the total maximum supply is not too bad compared to lots of other projects. I do think this is a very unique project. I have not seen a lot of energy sector plays. I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. Definitely drop a comment below. As usual, the support is always appreciated. I really am happy with the community we're building on here. And I hope all of you guys had a wonderful holiday with your loved ones. And I will see you guys in the next video.